Imagine this, in a dimly lit chamber within an ancient castle. Shafts of moonlight pierce through the cracks in the stone walls, casting eerie shadows across the room. The air is thick with tension. A skilled and agile swordsman stands in the center of the room, a gleaming Excalibur in his hand. His face is determined, with his eyes focused on his formidable opponent. This is what I have envisioned when enjoying the performance of Debussy's Sonata in G minor, performed by James Cuddiford and Christian Chung at the HKUST Shaw Auditorium. Now, let's talk a bit about what exactly the sonata form is. A sonata is a musical composition that originated in the Baroque period and developed further in the classical era. It is a multi-movement instrumental work typically written for a solo instrument, such as the piano or the violin, or for a small ensemble of instruments. The sonata usually consists of 3 to 4 contrasting movements, each with its own distinctive character and structure. In the case of Debussy's Sonata in G, there are only 3 movements. Composers such as Beethoven, Mozart, and Schubert made significant contributions to the development and popularity of the sonata form. Over time, the sonata form evolved and expanded, with composers experimenting with different structures, tonalities, and expressive possibilities. The sonata remains a prominent and versatile genre in classical music, showcasing the technical skills and artistic expression of the performers. Before delving into the piece, let's first introduce the composer. Claude Debussy, born in 1862, was a French composer. He was one of the most influential figures in Western classical music during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. He is often associated with the Impressionist movement in music, although he himself rejected the term. Debussy's music was characterized by its innovative harmonies, delicate textures, and evocative use of tone color. He sought to create a more fluid and atmospheric sound world, breaking away from the traditional rules of composition. His compositions often featured ambiguous tonality, whole tone scales, and unconventional chord progressions, which greatly expanded the possibilities of musical expression. Some of Debussy's most famous works include Clair de Lune from his suite Bergamasque, Prelude to the Afternoon of a Faun, and his opera Pelléas et Mélisande. These compositions showcase his mastery of creating vivid musical images and capturing moods and emotions. Debussy's influence extended beyond his own time, as his innovative approach to composition paved the way for future developments in 20th century music. He remains one of the most celebrated and widely performed composers in the classical music repertoire. The performance I will be using as reference is titled Augustin Heydrich and Orion Weiss played Debussy Sonata for violin and piano, which was performed in 2020. Here is a listening guide to the performance. The link to the performance and the listening guide can be found in the description box below. Now, let's move on to the analysis of the piece. Debussy's Sonata for violin and piano in G minor is also known as his Sonata in G. The sonata was Debussy's last completed composition, which was written in 1917. The composer was suffering from terminal cancer while producing the piece, which prompted me to think that perhaps his pain and helplessness was reflected in the gloomy motif. By 1916, Europe had plunged into a bleak, devastating state due to the First World War, causing a shortage of food and coal supply in Paris, where the composer resided. Debussy was exhausted as he watched the pre-war world he once knew slipping away. In a letter he wrote to a friend, "I only wrote this sonata to be rid of the thing, spurred on by my dear publisher. This sonata will be interesting from a documentary point of view and as an example of what may be produced by a sick man in time of war." The sonata in G is divided into 3 movements. They are titled Allegro vivo, Entremède fantasque et léger, and Finale très animé, respectively. Here's an excerpt of the first movement. The first movement is Allegro vivo. Allegro indicates a quick and lively pace and is often translated as fast or cheerful. Vivo means lively or vivacious in Italian. Combining the two, it suggests that the music should be played with a sense of energy and vitality. This movement is characterized by its restless and energetic nature. It features intricate and engaging passages for both the violin and the piano, showcasing Debussy's skillful composition and his ability to blend traditional tonality with impressionistic harmonies. The whole tone scales used creates an uneasy atmosphere, hinting at Debussy's declining health and frustration seeing the world around him falling apart. Now, here's an excerpt of the second movement. The second movement is Entremède fantasque et léger, which is a French phrase that can be translated as whimsical and light. This movement serves as an interlude between the first and the third movements. It is marked by its playful and fantastical character, with alternating moments of lightness and lyricism. Sliding notes and plucking of the string can be heard throughout the movement. The violin and piano engage in a lively dialogue, creating a sense of charm and elegance. Personally, I enjoyed this movement the most as it reminded me of the silver linings that we see lining the clouds during golden hours. Perhaps it was Debussy's attempt to stay hopeful, despite being plagued by his own illness and the chaos that the World War had brought. Finally, here's an excerpt of the third movement. The third movement is Finale très animé, which is translated to very animated or energetic. This movement opens with a return to the main theme of the first movement and brings the sonata to a dramatic and exhilarating conclusion. It is fast-paced and filled with complex pulsing, showcasing Debussy's mastery of rhythm. The atmosphere is no longer mysterious as it is in the first movement. Rather, the development of music suggests an endless possibility of what the future could hold. In a letter, Debussy described the violin sonata as filled with tumultuous joy. The French violinist Renaud Capuçon told Strings magazine that Debussy's sonata is one of those pieces where you recognize the composer after a few bars. His sense of melody, his sense of harmonies, and his way of being very compact is quite clear. Debussy's Sonata in G is considered a significant contribution to the violin and piano repertoire. As Debussy himself said, it serves as a documentary recording the life of a man who was withering away during World War I. The sonata exhibits his unique musical language and his departure from traditional tonality, foreshadowing the musical developments in the 20th century. Here is the list of references used in the video essay. This is the end of the video, and I hope you enjoyed the enchanting musical journey brought by Debussy's sonata.